Hello everybody. So we have been talking about nutrition, and each of our posts have mentioned something beginning with P that relates to our nutrition. And today I'm going to talk about something which doesn't sound very nice, the word poison. So we've talked about enjoying our food, we've talked about everything in moderation, we've talked about just having a balanced approach to nutrition, not being kind of obsessive about it, but at the same time knowing what's good for us. I don't know if this post is going to be a little bit unpopular, but I think it's important to say that there are some things, having said that, everything in moderation is a good moderate approach to nutrition. There are some things which I would class as the P of poison. So there are some things which, I don't know what my hair is doing today. My gosh, it's like some kind of weird poofy thing. There are some things which really you should avoid if you possibly can, because they will poison your system. To illustrate this point, I realized I had been doing a fantastic job of indoctrinating / training my children when my daughter went to a party and was offered Coca-Cola, and she said, "I'm sorry, I can't drink that, I'm allergic." And I was like, yes, I have done my job. Now, the truth is that all of us are allergic to certain poisonous foods, and yet we get away with eating them because our bodies are such amazing filtration systems that we are programmed to survive, and so we do survive. However, we are doing ourselves no good if we do in fact eat these foods. So the first poison, I'm sorry to say, is white refined sugar. So there is a lot of research on this, and I am not an expert, so I'm just going to throw out these thoughts, and you can take them and do your own research if you are so inclined. So white refined sugar, it is like a poison in our bodies. It creates an environment in which cancers can grow. It is bad for us for all kinds of reasons, including diabetes, including the fact that it creates an environment in which the fat-producing hormone can go wild. So if you are eating things, if you're eating straight up sugar, that's one thing. If you're eating things that have sugar added to them, that's another. So hidden sugars, which of course are in cakes and biscuits, but also there's a lot of hidden sugars, especially depending on where you live in the world, will affect what is available on the market. But there's a lot of hidden sugars in, obviously, kind of, jams and drinks and even breads and even peanut butter. So obviously, you could go a little crazy with this. We want to have an approach to life where we can live in society, live in the world, not as complete screwballs. However, it really is worth keeping your eyes open for the sugar that you're taking on board. One surefire way to avoid sugars is to stop drinking any kinds of soda. So if you're drinking, I'm sorry, but it's true, it's a poison. If you're drinking sodas, Coke, Sprite, any of these, there's tons and tons of sugar, and it really is completely empty in terms of nutritional quality. And remember, we talked about that whole idea when I was pregnant, making sure that every mouthful that went in my mouth was had nutritional value for this growing life, and realizing, well, actually, I can take care of myself in the same way, whether or not there's a baby on board. So I would not want to be pouring Coke into my baby's mouth, and I won't pour it into my own. So that might be unpopular, but sodas, Now, if you're thinking that you're avoiding sugar by drinking a diet soda, I'm really sorry to tell you, but it's poison. It's absolute poison. The additives in diet sodas are just so bad for you. If it's at all possible for you to stop drinking it and to drink water instead, you will instantly notice a difference in the quality of your skin, your sleep. Everything will feel better if you stop drinking that. Sorry, but it's poison. Now, saturated fat, hydrogenated fats, so solid and liquid fats. There are healthy fats which are good for you in moderation. So olive oils, coconut oils, far much better for you than oils like a sort of hydrogenated sunflower oil or something that's had so much processing done to it. And like I think I've mentioned on previous videos, if you can eat your food as close to the way that it in its original form, however it grew or whatever, then you are doing your body a huge favor. The processing that we put our foods through is really not good for our bodies. And then keeping your eye open for additives, especially monosodium glutamate, MSG, which is a sort of flavor enhancer, but is really a poison. And many people now would say that they have some kind of allergic reaction to MSG. But that equally, there are other additives which are not going to do you any good. So again, as I've mentioned before, if the thing that you're buying in the shop has more than 6 ingredients, and you start to see lots of numbers, then it's not doing your body any good. Really, do what you can to reduce taking on board those unnecessarily toxic food types, which couldn't really be called food. This post comes with lots of love, because you can really do yourself a huge amount of good by avoiding what is bad. And the way to avoid what is bad for you is not to have a list in your head of things that really you are trying to avoid. The way to avoid what is bad for you is by starting to eat what is really good for you, and you will change the way that your appetite works. You'll change the things that you're attracted to in terms of flavors, and end up really changing the quality of your daily nutrition. So things that are good for you would be fresh fruit and veggies, juiced fruit and veggies, and of course lean proteins, pulses, seeds, nuts. There's a huge amount of food that is really going to do your body good, and if you eat that and avoid what I'm calling a poison, you will be very happy in the end. So please post your questions or comments. Do you have other foods that I didn't mention that you would consider poisonous to your system? And how does this post make you feel? Does it seem a little extreme to be calling these foods poisons? What's your most difficult thing to give up because your body has been trained to want whatever it is that you're giving it that you know isn't really good, but it's hard to stop. I'm going to post on the group, I'm going to post a link to a video that was a TEDx talk quite a few years ago now by Jason Vale, and he illustrates this whole concept of creating a poisonous environment versus a healthy environment within your body, and he does a great job of illustrating that. So I'm going to post that video, take a look at it, and post your comments and questions.